Please welcome FedEx team members, Captain Ron Keller, Audrey Pfeiffer, Captain Tony Holder, and Gavin McKay.
I'm Captain Ron Keller, employee number 361. For those of you that don't know, and it sounds like most of you do, we were pretty proud of those numbers in the early days, but collectively we were especially proud to work for number one, Red. It's funny now. When I talk to somebody in HR or tech support because I have a question of some sort, I call, and like always, they say, how can we help, what can we do? I lay out the issue that I have, and at some point in that conversation, the question is, okay, what's your employee number? And I say, 361, and they say, what's the rest of it? I joined FedEx 2 months before we actually had day one operation. Like Fred, I began my career in the Marine Corps where I was a pilot. And in the course of the time I was in the Marine Corps, I concluded that I wanted to be a pilot for a career, but wanted to get out of the Marine Corps. The timing for me was very bad because there was an oil embargo on in the early 70s. Airlines weren't hiring, they were in fact furloughed. And in late 72, a friend of mine showed me an article about this startup outfit called Federal Express. So I looked at the article, got in contact with them, and that was that. When I moved to Memphis, we weren't quite ready to fly yet, about 6 weeks away or something like that. But it was interesting to watch the company develop into how are we going to do this? Who knows what? At that time, there were about 125 pilots and a big staff of aircraft maintenance people waiting for things to start. But the impressive thing to me in those early days was that when the company was very small, everybody pitched in. What is it? What do you need done? I can do that. I'll take care of it. Nobody ever said, that's not my job. And I love that attitude. Fred was always with us too. He was around the coffee pot and in the workspaces, and he had a great deal of enthusiasm which he transmitted to us, and a great deal of confidence that his idea was going to work. I especially loved how he embraced diversity and was wise and supportive of all of his people. It just felt right. Since I knew it was not the standard amongst the passenger airlines of that day. I also knew at some early point that my phone is squawking. Sorry. I knew that this wasn't going to be a stepping stone job for me. This was going to be my final destination. I'm still there supporting their operations, and I am extraordinarily grateful to Fred. Thank you for an amazing career.
My name is Audrey Pfeiffer. My employee number is 1351. I'm the longest continued employee because 361 is gone. I joined FedEx January the 10th, 1974. It was amazing. Mr. Smith came to my computer training school talking about this big shipping dream. And I thought to myself, I would like to be a part of this. Well, I went the next day and Mrs. Smith hired me on the spot. what I remember about Mr. Smith in the early days, in December, he would come through the building and he said, I need all hands on deck, sorting and shipping the packages, putting the packages on the plane. He made sure that every package got put on the plane to go out. And from there, I watched the company just expand so quickly. It was just amazing. But what I loved about Mr. Smith is that he treated us all like we were family. So you all have a second family. He opened the doors for many around the world, not only just for the FedEx family, but around the world. And I want to thank Mr. Smith. I honor him. I'm just honored today to be a part of 500,000 employee ranking #1. That's why I got my uniform on today.
Hello, I'm Captain Tony Holder, and my humble employee number is 13077, and I joined FedEx in September of 1979. I'm here representing the first 7 African-American pilots hired at the company. Hired at the company that later to be known as the Magnificent Seven. We had all learned to fly in the military. It was one of the original Tuskegee Airmen that Fred knew who called me up and told me I should work at Federal Express. Often when coming to work, I would see Mrs. Smith talking to fellow pilots, fellow crew members, and sharing in the camaraderie of fellow pilots, especially fellow Marines. It seemed he was most relaxed then and shared a esprit de corps, which helped later to explain the Bravo Zulu Award for a job well done, a term coined by the military. Mr. Smith showed early on that he supported diversity and equal opportunity by actively recruiting well-qualified African Americans. Color meant nothing to him. He was adamant, even back then, that FedEx should sponsor minority programs and organizations to provide more opportunities like the one I had. He didn't just give me a job, he gave me a career. Thank you, Fred, for the opportunity.
My name is Gavin McKay, employee number 6,999,143. So yes, I am one of the newest FedEx employees, joining the company just this past June.
Yeah.
I'm humbled to be standing here alongside these remarkable teammates who've spent decades shaping this company and paving the way for future generations. Though I've been with FedEx for a little over 2 months now, Mr. Smith inspired me long before my first day of work. We both graduated from Memphis University School, and as a student walking those same halls almost 60 years later, I often pass by this display in the library that honored Mr. Smith and his achievements. And every time that I saw it, I was reminded of what one life lived with purpose could accomplish. Even then, I could see that Mr. Smith embodied our school's motto, Veritas Honor Pay, which means truth and honor. And now, I see how that same spirit lives through FedEx. So even though I'm just beginning my FedEx journey, I'm proud to carry forward Mr. Smith's legacy, the legacy of employee number 1. His values aren't just a part of our history, they're a challenge to all of us to create what's next, to swing big, and to lead with purpose. Thank you.
That was amazing. Are you leaving? Okay. I thought she was going to take the mic from the first one and finish up the story and tell her story. That was so beautiful. And as great as all of this has felt, it's only a glimpse, really, of the lives forever changed, forever bettered by their time with FedEx. In fact, I'd like to recognize all the team members now in our audience. And we know who you are, so you might as well participate. If you were an employee from the beginning, back in the 70s, would you please stand? And now I will ask if you're a FedEx retiree, please stand. If you are currently a FedEx employee, would you stand? If currently. And now, if you have ever been a team member, past or present, please stand and let us acknowledge you as well. Wow. Let's give them all a round of applause. From the Smith family, a sincere thank you for the entire purple wave of employees, past and present, sharing your time with us today.